So you're too excited and you can't sleep. Let me help you out. Okay, so I want you to imagine a pet shop, and you're going in to adopt a pet. It can be any pet you want, but let's just imagine the pet shop. Just imagine how it looks. What kind of paint is on it? Is it a rough texture on the outside? Is it smooth? What colour is it? Is it multiple colours? What does the sign look like? What kind of font is the sign? And what does it have in the windows? And then also, what street is it on? Is it on a street that you know, or is it on a kind of imaginary street? Is it on a bit of a mixed street? Are there people walking by? Is there a street lamp, a car? What kind of car is it? What colour is it? Is there no car? If there's no car, what other surroundings are there? Maybe there's a tree or a bush or something like that. Okay, now go into the shop and I want you to imagine what it's like in the shop. What does it look like? Who's working there? What kind of style have the staff got? Have they got a uniform, an outfit, or are they all wearing different things? So that some of them have dyed hair. Is there no one working there? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or more? Okay, now you're walking through the shop and I want you to imagine where your pet, the pet that you're about to adopt, is kept. And what is it kept in? What style of whatever it is kept in is it? What is the pet that you are going to get? What breed is it? What colour is it? What kind of fur does it have, or scales or whatever? What's its behaviour like? What's it doing right now? Is it coming up to you? Is it away from you eating? Is it something you can pick up, or is it something that you can just observe? I really want you to picture the animal and imagine the details on it. You know, if it's got a coat, has it got spots, or is it maybe is it like a real dog? If the dog is like a real dog, or is it something more fantasy based? Is it purple, for example, or maybe they've dyed it purple? You can imagine whatever. Just really make sure you're thinking about those details. And what you're going to name this pet? Have you got any names? Do you know what gender it is and what you're going to name it? And if there's any names, then what would the nicknames for that name be? And just keep thinking about that, Okay, you've got the pet now, that's all good. I want you to imagine a beach. You're at a beach. Now, what kind of beach is it? Is it a stony beach? Is it a sandy beach? Is it white sand, or kind of that wet kind of sand? Or is it more of a shingly beach? How are the waves looking? Are they big and crashing, or are they soft and coming in and out like this? Or is it completely still? What colour is the sea, and what's in the sea? Is there like a pier or anything going out into the sea, like big long stone? Is there anything, or is it just the sea? Can you see any fish? Can you see any birds? And what does the sea sound like? Can you hear the sea? What kind of noise is it making? Okay, now I want you to imagine the rest of the beach. Okay, so whether it be sand or rocks or whatever, what other things are on the beach? Are there the lifeguards? Can you see the lifeguards? Can you see people? Can you maybe see some buildings or anything close by? Can you see maybe a pasty shop or food stalls of some sort? Can you see other people sunbathing, or how's the weather? Is it sunny? Is it grey? Can you really picture what kind of weather, how everything looks? Really think about all the details. If it's a stony beach, how do the stones look? Are they mostly grey? Are they red? And if it's sandy, what kind of sand is it? Is it white? Is it not? Okay, forget the beach. Think of your favourite TV show. Just instinctively, it doesn't matter if it's your actual favourite or not. The first one that came to mind, just think of that. Now I want you to pick a character from that. It doesn't have to be, just pick any character, the first one that comes into your head, and I want you to imagine them. I want you to imagine their hair. What's the colour of their hair, and is it very textured hair, or is it not textured at all? How would it feel to brush? How long is it, and what exactly does it look like? Can you describe it? Okay, and what about the face of the person? Are there any details there? Are there beauty marks or wrinkles or anything that you notice when you see this person? The eye colour or the shape of their nose or their lips or their chin or anything like that. Just think of the details of their face. And what outfit do they usually wear? Have they got like a main outfit, or do they constantly swap? If they constantly swap, or even if they don't, what's their style really? What would you put their style under? Like modern chic or vintage, retro? What would you classify their style as? And where are you imagining them? Are you imagining them like in this white box as if it's just their minute, or are you imagining them in a usual setting for them, or are you imagining them in your room? Where are you imagining them, and what are the details around there? Can you see the details or the lack of details? Now I want you to think of some lyrics, any lyrics, first lyrics that come into your head. I just want you to think about them and try and think about why those lyrics came to mind. Is there something you specifically like about those lyrics? Is it the meaning behind them? Is it the way they sound and with the melody? Is it the way the singer sings it? Is it actually not the lyrics at all, but the instruments behind the lyrics that really bring it to life? Why did those lyrics come to mind first? Was the song stuck in your head today, or have you been listening to one song on repeat lately? Okay, now I want you to imagine you're outside and you're having a picnic. Now, you could be outside anywhere, and I really want you to imagine where you are. Is it a big green field, or is it perhaps, you could have it on a dune? Is it really hot outside or a bit more cold? Are you wrapped up, or is it a nice sunny day where you are actually maybe way too hot? What are you eating and drinking? Are you playing any games? Do you have friends with you, or your partner, or anything? Do you have anyone with you? What kind of games are you playing? What kind of things are you doing? And what is around you? Can you see other people? Can you see objects? Can you see houses? Or are you completely alone? Or maybe you are separate from everything but with your friends. Just really imagine those details. Okay, now I want you to imagine you're drawing something. And what are you drawing? Is it a stick figure, or is it an elaborate piece of art? Is it people, or is it something, an object or a landscape of some kind? Is it an animal, or something random? Is it something from a TV show or movie, or what is it? Can you just describe it for me? And just while I talk, just keep describing stuff. Just whatever it is, just tell me all about it. Can you imagine the colours, the shading? Have you got any shading, or is it completely flat colour, or even black and white? What are you drawing on? Is it paper? Is it your iPad? Is it are you using a drawing tablet? Now I want you to imagine that you're playing a game. It could be a board game, could be a video game, it could be whatever. Just imagine you're playing a game. I want you to tell me about that game. Why did that game come to mind first? Do you love it? Have you been playing it recently? Is it a nostalgic game? Is it something that you want to play again soon? Is it multiplayer? Is it single player? Are you imagining that you're playing it with someone, or are you imagining that you're playing it by yourself? Can you picture all the details of the game? If it's a board game, the certain dice that come with it, the board itself, the details, and maybe you've used it a lot and it's worn down. If it's a video game, are you imagining the graphics and how good or bad that they are? Are you imagining the memories that you have of that game and who you used to play it with, or who you still play it with? Just think all those things. Okay, now I want you to imagine that you're in a cafe. What kind of cafe is it? Is it a brand, like a chain, or is it a local cafe that you have gone to before? Is it a made-up cafe? Is it a fictional cafe? What kind of cafe is it? And what does it look like on the outside? What does the sign look like? What does the paintwork look like? What do the windows look like? Does it have windows? And then on the inside, how are the tables arranged? What kind of wood are the tables, or are they not wood at all? Does it have art on the walls? Does it have a certain paint colour on the inside? Can you see the chefs working or can you not? Who is there? Are there other people there or is it completely empty? Is it a kind of internet cafe? Are there laptops or are there not? Can you see people doing work or can you not? What would you order from the cafe right now? Would you get a coffee, a tea, or maybe a cold drink? Would you get some food? Would you get a toastie or a salad or a burger? Does this cafe sell normal cafe things or does it sell other things as well? What does it sell? Can you see all the items in the shop or are they all hidden away? Can you see a menu? Can you see what's on the menu? Can you see how the menu's designed? What kind of design choice did they go for the menu? Okay, now I want you to think of a number, any number. Just think of one and then if you're inspired to think of another and another and another and keep doing that. Just keep thinking of numbers or stick to that one number. And how are you imagining this number or these numbers? Are they in some kind of void and it's just a very basic font, or is it a kind of fun font, or are you not seeing any numbers but you're just thinking them, you know you're thinking them? What are you actually seeing or thinking, and what is the number? How long is the number? How many numbers is the number? And if you've thought of multiple numbers, could you add them up or could you not? If you can add them up, then give it a go, but if you can't, then that's okay. Are there any sounds associated with the numbers? Are you thinking of any sounds or any smells? Can you smell anything? Now I want you to imagine a movie, any movie at all, just the first one that comes to your mind. Okay, now pick a scene from that movie, the first scene that comes to mind, and play it through a bit. Now, why did that scene come up? Do you know why that scene came up? Is it because you relate to it? Is it because it has a deep meaning to you? Is it just because it's a good scene? Is it fun to watch? Is it something that has a memory attached to it? If it does have a memory attached, then think of the memory. Why that scene? And what's going on in that scene specifically? Can you explain it to someone as if they'd not watched it before and wanted to know about this one specific scene in great detail? What's going on behind? If there's a character, what's going on behind the character? If there isn't a character, just what's going on in it? And what is the character doing? Again, if there is a character, what are they doing? What's actually happening in the scene? How is it making the plot move forward? Does it make the plot move forward at all, or is it one of those scenes that doesn't do anything but for some reason sticks in your head? Okay, now I want you to imagine that you're making soup. What are you putting in this soup? Is it homemade or are you just getting a canned soup of some kind? If you're getting a canned soup, just imagine that. What kind is it and how long are you cooking it for and all that kind of stuff. If it's a more homemade soup, what are you putting in it? Carrots, onion, broccoli? Are you leaving it as more of a broth? Are you adding dumplings? Are you having some kind of bread with it? What kind of bread are you having with it? Or are you blending it completely? What are you using to blend it? Do you even like soup? That is the question. Do you even like soup? And if you do, how much do you like soup? And would you want it soon? Have you got a favourite soup? Is that the soup that you're making? Now I want you to imagine that you're in the clouds. Okay, really imagine the clouds. And how do those clouds feel? Can you touch the clouds or can you not? How does it feel to be floating in the clouds? And you really are floating, there's nothing. You're just existing and going through these clouds. Okay, now I want you to imagine a world building in those clouds. Your world, your fantasy world of whatever that is. It could be something you've already seen, or it could be something completely original. It could also be a mix of something that you created originally and something from something else. Can you just see a tiny portion of this world? Maybe you can just see a building, maybe you can see a castle, maybe you can just see a field, or maybe you can see the whole world. Is it big? Is it small? Is it something that you're looking at from afar or that you're actually on and looking at from the ground? Does it have oxygen or are people wearing spacesuits? Are there other people there or is it just you? Can you smell anything or hear anything? What's going on around you? Are there buildings? Are there creatures? Are there other planets in the sky? What does your world look like? And I really want you to imagine it. Does it have waterfalls? Does it have trees? Does it look like Earth or does it look like something completely different? Is it in the same colour scheme or is everything purple? What are you imagining? Are you imagining a giant rainbow or a citadel or a giant fridge? What is your imagination doing with your fantasy world? What does it look like? Can you see the details? Can you see, is there grass, or what is the ground, and what are the details on the ground? Are there flowers? Are there some kind of growths? Are there craters? What colour is this planet? And does the planet colour match the building colour? If there's buildings or the trees or whatever you're imagining, I just really want you to picture it fully. And if you're only stuck in one place, I want you to go a bit further into your world and see if there's anything beyond that building, that person, whatever you're looking at. I just want you to walk further across it, or if you're looking from the outside, just swivel a little bit and try and see something else. What else is on this world? Are you the first people here? Did you create this? Or was this already here and you've just added to it? Are there people that you recognise? Maybe you've added fictional characters in, or maybe you added family and friends. Are you imagining it in the daytime or the nighttime? Does it have a day and nighttime cycle? And if it does, then imagine it at night, and what does that look like? And does that change the sounds and the smells? Now I want you to just imagine a void, whatever your void looks like. It could be white, it could be purple, it could be blue, it could be green, whatever your kind of just emptiness in your mind looks like. Just go there, okay? And I just want you to try not to think. Just try not to think of anything. And if you feel something coming back into your head, I want you to create a silly word or noise like blah, blah, blah. I want you to just think of that and replace whatever's coming into your head with that until there's nothingness. So every time something comes into your head, just keep doing that. I know it sounds silly, but keep doing that. Keep pushing away anything that comes into your head, and just imagine your void where nothing can get in. And as you're pushing away these things with silly noises, I really want you to imagine that void just closing off its doors, just keeping everything out. Just keeping everything out, okay? And just breathe deeply. Try to breathe deeply. I know this is a lot to do all at once, but keep making those noises in your head or out loud if that helps you more, if you can. It's not too late. But just keep doing that. Try to breathe if you can. Take the deepest breaths that you're able to. And just close off that void. Just imagine what kind of doors are they, but don't think too hard. You don't have to imagine all the details. Just imagine some doors, whatever kind of doors you can imagine, and close off the void as you try to push away everything else with those silly noises and breathe, okay? Just do all of that if you can, and if that's a little bit too much to do right now, I would recommend just trying to push away thoughts and just trying to stay in the void. Push away everything else, okay? Just keep pushing away. And if the silly noises are stopping working, then I want you to restart this video, okay? And I want you to try and imagine different things. And if you still need more distraction after that, then just think of anything random, okay, until you get tired, and then try to do the void thing. So for example, you could think of just a sky, and you could try and think of what kind of clouds are in it, and you could try to think of what colour is it, because maybe the weather's made it grey. Okay, so you just keep going and you just keep finding more random things to think about, and you don't let your brain stop for a second until you feel sleepy, that you've used so much brain power that you feel sleepy. And then you try the void trick, and you don't have to do the silly noises. Sometimes, hopefully, the void will just be enough to keep everything else out. Well, that is the end of this video. I will just talk a little bit towards the end, because I think after all that hecticness, if you're not really feeling fully awake anymore, but you can't quite sleep either, I think it's nice to have a little outro, basically, where I just talk ever so softly, very close soft speaking and try and get you to a point where you are actually asleep. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. This is what I did the night before I got married because I was just so excited. I felt like I couldn't sleep, so this is what helped me, and hopefully it's helped you a little bit. And I definitely recommend, if this even helped you a tiny bit, like thinking of a lot more random things, random scenarios where you're just constantly thinking of the next thing. That's what's important, I think, in this. So yeah, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you all